We're live. So, Judith, I got asked to look at this song. It's Jackson Browne. Heard of him before, did a little digging around, and I've got a little mini story. So this kind of, if you don't know who Jackson Browne is, like me, or much of, this will kind of kickstart, hopefully you're interested in a song that I've not heard before they're about to listen to. So in 1972, this songwriter called Jackson Browne was living in Echo Park in a one-bedroom apartment. And he had this song he was writing and he wasn't sure how to get it finished. And he had this friend upstairs who was in this new band and they'd known each other, and this friend came down and said, "Oh, I can finish that off with you." So they finished it off together. He says, "Oh, I'm going to get my band to play this on our new set and our new album, this new band that I've got." Yeah. Turns out the song was Take It Easy. Turns out the friend was Glenn Frey. Turns out the band was the Eagles. So if you're going to kind of write a song, just one song ever, or co-write, or have the main part of it and get another talented songwriter, Glenn Frey, to finish it off, yeah, Take It Easy works. So for me, that's enough to get into this song. And it's called Lives in the Balance. And it's by Jackson Browne from the album Lives in the Balance, which was produced by Jackson Browne and Scott Thurston, released in 1986. Kind of folk rock, political rock, so yeah, I get a sense what it's going to be. It's 86. It was 30 on the Billboard. I'm looking at the Billboard album rock tracks. And this is kind of hinted at as a protest piece. That's okay. I don't mind songs that are protesting anything, as long as the music makes sense, as long as it's genuine, and as long as it's got some context and some nuance, and it makes me think. I don't necessarily have to like the artist to like a song. So I don't know this artist, I don't think. So let's get into it. This is Jackson Browne, Lives in the Balance from 1986. How old was I? I was 21. So yeah, I was military. I'd come back from the Falklands by then. So yeah, I'm not sure I'd have been doing protest songs. Although we did have... Actually, I'll come back to that at the end, because there was a couple of songs soldiers kind of thought, yeah, I like that. Yeah, Army Dreamer, Kate Bush. There was some songs that soldiers didn't mind, because it was true and genuine. Yeah, let's see. Drums, keyboard. It's round its room.
I've been waiting for something to happen, for a week or a month or a year, with the blood in the ink of the headlines and the sound of the crowd in my ear. You might ask what it takes to remember, when you know that you've seen it before, where a government lies to a people and a country is drifting to war, and there's a shadow.
We've been... When you protest something, you have to lay it out. And here he's laying out there's a disregard, there's a morality that's disregarded when it comes to war. Yeah. And you hear the term just war, and you might feel that no war is ever just. Or you may feel that a just war is only when it's a united front against that which threatens the world. I don't know, World War I, World War II, are we going to have a World War III? And songs are political when they are political, and this is going to be political. So it's 1986 the song was written, and now you're looking at 2020 coming into 2026, and we've got some conflict still going on. And how do you protest that conflict? Let's see what he does. That's how he puts it forward in his song. Let's pull down the lyrics. I've been waiting for something to happen. So that's just like, that's the platitude really, isn't it? Yeah, of course I will. Yeah, I'll get that done tomorrow. For a week or a month or a year. With the blood in the ink of the headlines and the sound of the crowd in my ear. So you might ask what it takes to remember when you know when you've seen it before, where a government lies to a people and a country is drifting. That's that procrastination. It's the grandstanding. It's the politics of war. You know it's coming. They're building up to it. They're telling you all the things they want you to hear, but not actually listening to you in return. I suspect that's what he's saying here. Yeah. Now, I don't have to agree with that, but I have to respect that it makes sense, that it's making me ask a question of myself.
On the faces of the men who sent the guns to the wars that are fought in places where their business interest runs.
Well, we all know Eisenhower said that, and we all know what goes on. There's a shadow on the faces of the men who send the guns, so they're hidden. They stand behind. They operate from a place of no transparency to the wars that are fought in places where their business interests run. But that doesn't negate the fact that war needs to happen. He's singing about what happens when people are sent to war with no morality from the people who supply it and make money from it. Yeah.
On the radio, talk shows, and the TV, you hear one thing again and again. How the USA stands for freedom, and we come to the aid of a friend. But who are the ones that we call our friends? These governments killing.
You'd have the old Iran-Contra thing. This is very contextual. And it's true. Whether I like it or not, and I'm not American, but I live in a country that's had its fair share of wars, just colonizing, whatever you want to call it. It just makes you remember that not everything you are told is true. And not every lie you hear is actually bad, if that makes sense. So somebody can tell you that X happened and you find out later that it didn't, but it didn't actually change what was going to happen. You know? On the radio talk shows, on the TVs, there's no internet then. You hear one thing and again, how the USA stands for freedom, and we come to the aid of a friend. But who are the ones that we call our friends? Okay. There's some real dissonance going on here. It's a real morality versus transparent. So what it's saying is, the machine, if you like, is doing exactly what it wants, no matter what the morality of the people who it affects and the people who are observing it. So when those observing the machine are going, well, hang on a minute, what's this war about? What's that about? It doesn't matter. It's going to do what it does. This is 86. Interesting.
Their own, or the people who find they can't take anymore, and they pick up a gun or a brick or a stone, and there are lights in the back.
You can think about Freud if you think about it. It's projection. It really is. It's moral guilt displayed onto faceless enemies. Yeah. And the chorus really anchors moral darkness shadow as collective shadow, the archetype, which is Jung, when he talks about the shadows, the shadows of the faces. And greed and violence is represented within the national self-image. So greed and violence is there, but it's all about the national self-image, the protection of the night. We are coming to your aid as a friend. Yeah. And it is, if you think it's the fusion, it's when people talk about the elite, I don't know what that means. Because I'm more elite than somebody who's got nothing. And somebody who's got nothing may be more elite than me because they're just a better human. I don't know what that means. Elite sportsmen, yes, when you categorize it, but elites, I don't know, because they've got more money doesn't make them better than somebody without the money. Not in a true sense, yeah. So it's when you have the power elite, that's the fusion of economic and political interests. So that's that merger. And this is 1986, but it's not new, you know. And I remember reading Govard Allen, he was right. I think somewhere he was talking about America came off. And I'm not, listen, I love America. And I love my own country. We have our faults, but I'd rather take all those faults than live somewhere else. And it's literally America came off a war footing, came out of the war, the Second World War, and it's never came down from that war footing, ever. I don't know. But the song is challenging that perspective. This is 1986.
Balance. There are people on the fire. There are children at the cans. There is blood on the wire.
Remember, this was in America under Ronald Reagan. Yeah. Who I'm not judging. I'm just saying this is the context and the time of the song. This isn't Born in the USA in that sense. It's not a portrayal by giving you a tune that thinks it's pro-American. It's not. This is actually just saying what's happening in America. Can we ask some questions? Not to be ashamed of being a born American. It doesn't say anywhere here that he's ashamed to be an American. He's saying those in the elite are not being honest with us. Panpipes.
There's a shadow on the faces of the men who fan the flames of the wars that are fought in places, but we can't even say the names. They sell us the president the same way they sell us our clothes and our cars. They sell us everything from youth to religion.
Is he wrong?
Same time they sell us our wars. I wanna know who the men in the shadows are.
Yeah.
I wanna hear somebody asking them why. They can be counted on to tell us who our enemies are, but they're never the ones to fight or to die. And they're alive.
There are songs that are protest songs and songs that challenge the standard, but do you think they actually make a difference? Let me know in the comments, guys.
The balance. There are people on the fire. There are children at the can.
The lyrics are brilliant, but the music's dated, right? This music doesn't. I like it because I'm from that era, so I understand it. But if you were listening to this now and you were 20 now, you'd be like, what's this old tune? But the lyrics are beautiful. Yeah. It's a very 80s song. Very post-synth, well, in the UK, you sort of had that new romantic thing going on. Yeah, and this would never have broken in the UK, this song, never. Not because it's a bad song, I like it. I love the core of the song and the way it's written.
And there is blood on the wire.
That arpeggi. And I remember traveling in the 80s, early 80s and 90s, these panpipes from the Peruvians, Bolivian panpipes, wherever they were coming from, was everywhere. It was very in vogue. Beautiful instrument, but I'm not yeah. It's definitely a psychologically framed song behind the context of sociological happenings. I like it for that. The music, yeah, it's in its day, it works. For me now, when I look at some tunes, I go, do they stand up today? Lyrically, beautiful. Musically, it's not my cup of tea today, and it wouldn't have been then. This would not have been my cup of tea then. So to hear it now and appreciate it for what it is, for what it was attempting, 100%. Isn't it great that you can have a song, right? Really appreciate the song, its gravitas, and what it's doing psychologically, sociologically, constructing an argument against that sort of diffusion of elite economic growth, power demands to make more money, to put us into war. And it talks about how he sells us things, the same approach, and Freud, and it's Jung. But it doesn't have to. It's like reading a page, reading a chapter in a book and saying, that's a great chapter, but I don't want to read the book. The chapter's enough. This is a good song. Really good song. Yeah. Come on, guys, get in and let me know what you think. Have protest songs ever really amounted to anything? Other than the self-fulfillment of the listener believing they did. Yeah? Till next time, guys, take care.